Hello, this is J.N.S, and I just want to do a real quick video on this topic on Freemasonry origins. And pretty much, I was listening to the live of Sara Suten Seti. I've been listening to him for years, to be honest. I check his channel from here and there, and whatnot. And so he did, this video that's on the screen. I guess it's called Freemason Wars in Memphis, J, Gotti, and Dolph. And so for me, I came in a little late. I came in later into the live in the chat, and so I don't quite know though the context of. I'm assuming it's with Gotti's brother being killed, and then obviously Dolph was murdered as well, and so I'm assuming that that's what he was covering. But for me, towards the end, I think he was talking about, in a general sense, about like Freemasonry and whatnot. And so I had just made a comment in the live section. We were just talking about, with in the comment section, the audience just says, things, and like he like dragged me yesterday. And I don't think it was anything serious. Like there's no beef or anything, but he dragged me for a comment that I made, and I comment throughout many of his videos and stuff. And so, and he never, he sometimes like subliminally addresses like the comments, but yesterday he just was like, oh no, I gotta stop you and I gotta correct this, and he went in, he was just like going in, oh that's bullshit, and I'm just like, uh okay. And so um I want to talk about the origins. Now, he was talking when he came at me for my comment. He was talking about the speculative masonry or philosophical masonry versus operative masonry, and his assertion is that operative masonry came first, because you would need to build a stone through angles and math first, apparently from Seti's perspective, before you would philosophize on laying the stone. So, and you could listen to the video and listen to like the last part of his video. It's just nothing but him coming at me for my comment about Yeshua being a Mason, or what you guys call Jesus, an actual true blood, which is a bloodline descendant of the Masonry that transcends earthbound conception. And so, this is, again, the information that I bring. 'Cause I wrote two books on this, by the way, and I'll actually share some of my information about these things. And so we'll get there, but I just want to lay out, the foundation of where I'm going with this. But his perspective is that operative masonry came first, was started in Egypt. Imhotep was a mason. This is what he said in the last of the video. You can go check it out. And that everything I said was bullshit. Um, and what else? And that operative came first because you have to lay the stone first, and philosophical spiritual masonry is, I guess, secondary, or perhaps not even credible. um he didn't say not credible, but he did for sure say secondary. And um it implied that as it implied that it was, I guess, inferior. And so I take premise with that whole thing, and I'm actually shocked that you would take such a perspective like that, Seti, yourself, because if we're going to go with its origins in Egypt, and the pantheon of the Egyptian theology and thought itself, it always stems, even if we do want to credit them with masonry, it always stems with them, uh, from thought conception first. Heka, as you know, Heka is an Egyptian concept. What is Heka? That is breath resonance through a certain set of vibration, spirit. And so I want to make sure that this is recording. So let me just, because I don't want to be talking, the old stuff. Powers that be, they like to they like to mess with my shit. But anyways, Uh, so Heka is where the Egyptian pantheon would start. That spirit. That's that's where they would start at consciousness. Even if we go with their the Egyptian conception, you call them Kemet or Nubia. That's fine. The Nubians. That's obvious. I have no issue with that. You we would have to start with all is mental. That is their first teaching. That is the teaching of one of their greatest master teachers, Tahuti the Atlantean. This is what the Egyptians would tell you, Seti. This is what they would. This is what's in their books. This is what's in their texts, and intuitively, for those of us who get downloads, we know this information too. And so Tahuti first started with this conception, whether he existed or not, or whether it's I'm not here to debate that. I'm talking about that they have a pantheon, a belief system, a theocracy, a theology that centers on Heka, spirit, which centers on a philosophy of the 12 universal laws of Tahuti. And one of that is which all is mental, the universe is mental. Now, Tahuti obviously was also, he's an Atlantean, he was also one of the teachers of Freemasonry. Now, keeping that in context, and just from melanated cosmic science, you always talked about cosmic melanated science. You are one of those people that brought that to the forefront. You always talked about Christos consciousness, energy. So you are very much well versed in understanding metaphysics. Before you would lay a building or a brick or anything you would do in a 3D earthbound realm, 5D earthbound realm, anything. This is a very dense, as you know, Earth is a dense frequency because things come as appear as matter. So they're the atoms, the electrons, the protons, they become denser and they appear to be stagnant, even though they're it's still a vibration though. Still, everything is a vibration. Everything is energy. So before you would lay these bricks, and we know that they were using levitation at one point in Egypt to lay bricks, you would have to do it through your mind. You have to conceptualize. You would have to have schematics in your mind before you would take your hands and build Seti. You said operative masonry came first. That is categorically, that is emphatically false. It is emphatically false. And the reason why it's emphatically false, just off, and it's just commonsensical that the conception and thought comes first before anything that you do in this world. Anything you come up with, any science you come up with, any math you come up with, you have to conceptualize it first because all is mental. The universe is mental. And so before you do lay it down a brick and become a operative stone mason, um, you have to conceptualize on that. You have to philosophize on that. You have to have a science around that. You have to ponder, even if it's just in a mathematical sense, to lay those bricks down in a precise manner. As we look at the precision of the Giza pyramids or Temple of Karnak, we see that that stuff can't even be replicated to this day. But there's precision and in those angles, building in those angles at one point. Now, we don't even know how, they say it was advanced technology, alien technology, levitation, whatever. The point is, someone had to first think. And so when we talk about like the conceptions of masonry, uh, this notion that there's this distinction between operative, speculative, the philosophical aspect of it. Um, it's one and the same. There is no dichotomy. It's not one or the other. And the reason why is because when we think about the origins, Freemasonry is not an earthbound conception. And this is very important that you guys know that because here's the thing: what people do, what humans do, and particularly you, Seti, and many others, the current conception of human knowledge and the body of knowledge and what we consider knowledge and history is it's only you guys only relegate it to the earth realm based off of a certain parameter of what is in what somebody said or what is in a book. And so it doesn't allow for new revelation to come through, new epiphany, new interpretation of historical texts. And so, like for instance, if we were to talk about uh, this the origins of Freemasonry, you guys would go straight to, and actually cover this in my book, so I'll share this because I actually am writing. I'm creating an alternative to Freemasonry. I'm one of the descendants of that actually started. I am a descendant of the founders of the earthbound version and the spiritual version, going back to the Knight Templars. And so, what you guys will do is follow the history of the contemporary earthbound Freemasonry. That's where you guys would start. And so, obviously, you would go to Egypt most likely. But then, when we talk about contemporary, you guys would go to the Middle Ages and the Renaissance period. And so, obviously, we do start with the guilds of stonemasons in Egypt. That's important. And so for me, this when I think of masonry, this to me is not even important. This none of this is important. Arguing about the history of it, because for one, the information is bastardized. It's been misinterpreted. The whole conception of how you become a Freemason, how you even understand that knowledge, is also fucked up and botched on planet Earth. So most people don't even understand it. It's very compartmentalized. So the level Masons don't even know what the fuck is going on. They all over the place. And so, to me, as someone who, again, a descendant of the founders of the earthbound and even the spiritual bound essence of Freemasonry, um, it's been passed down through bloodline to me through epigenetics. So that means that we don't have to take an oath. We don't believe in taking oaths. This is something that came down to Earth. It was beings. You guys can call them interdimensional, multidimensional, whatever. Beings came and gave this information to humans. This was not something that you guys just conceived on your own. And this is why, as you know yourself, Seti, you talk about the fallen angels, Lucifer teaching, and they worship Lucifer, and well, the fallen angels did give a botched version of the Freemasonry to humanity. They did, but who taught Lucifer? And so we have to ask that. And so that's where I come in, teaching the actual origins of the spiritual realm, the spiritual science of intergalactic mentalism, which is what Freemasonry is, and how they took it when they came down to Earth and used it for their own advantages, for control and for other purposes, and misinterpreted because they were not even at the highest levels when they came down here. We talk about the fallen angels and Lucifer. And so, Seti, I would ask that you keep a very open mind with me when learning this information. For one, because I'm a mystic. I wear a mystic hat, and I am a scholar. And my approach to scholarship is to produce knowledge as melanated people. As a Black American, uh, I believe in the production of knowledge. So I'm not going to merely regurgitate other people's scholarship and other people's work. I'll respect it. I will cite it, give them proper credit. But as a scholar, it is our duty to produce new revelations on history and science, and that's what a real prodigy or a polymath would do. And you do this too. You always break things down. You've been breaking things down, or as you say, bang on that wicked beast for decades. And so you also, I wouldn't say necessarily. I guess you do produce knowledge in a sense where what you do is you like to analyze and dissect things that are already out there, things that are considered credible or contemporary or history. What you do is you go and uncover, you decode, you'll uncover the true meanings of things. You'll connect dots. And so I always respected that. And so, believe it or not, Sara, Suten, Seti, you are one of my influencers in my approach to academia. Now, I am more of a conventional scholar in a sense where I've been trained through Western methodologies. However, as I was simultaneously in college, I would play you in the background, literally in undergrad, and even in grad school. I would play, the debates, you and Brother Polite debate. Like this was stuff as I was doing my homework and shit. Like this, you were playing in the background, real shit. Like my friends will tell you this, and so, well, ex friends. And so this is not like a video to bash or disrespect you. Um, we're just having a dialogue, and it's interesting because, again, you know, it's just funny how things come full circle. I'm just in the comment section as somebody that literally study your body of work as someone that is much younger than you, um, considerably much younger. I don't think you're old enough to be my dad, but I'm pretty sure I think you may got 15 to 20, maybe even 25 years. I'm not sure, maybe 15 to 20 years, over me. But so I just find it so ironic that, at 19, 18, I'm sitting here watching your stuff when you was in Harlem, out on Harlem in the streets. And then I comment on the video on your video and you just drag my ass. And so now I gotta drag you back. And it's all love. I've grown since, since I first started listening to you, so I've developed my own style of teaching and my own approach to knowledge production. But I do have to say, in terms of the uncovering, the decoding, um, also being unapologetic in the delivery and the truth, that style of yours, I did. I had. You can probably see some of that in some of my work as well, because uh, that's what I grew up listening to be honest. And so when I stumbled upon your work, that's when I got introduced to Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben. Again, this was over a decade ago. With that's when I started to learn more about Dr. Ben in particular, and so in his body of work. And so um, again, it's not a disrespectful video. It's just me being at 10, 12 years later, um, and actually just you coming at me at what I said. I just want to break down my perspective and my approach to knowledge production as a mystic and as a scholar. And then hopefully you just keep an open mind. You keep an open mind, and I know you'll learn something. I mean, you were the one that went around teaching the Black woman is God. And so, Seti, if you didn't want a Black woman to believe that, you shouldn't have said it. And so you, as well as, because I did a video debate, not a debate, but like kind of just just a little playful video at Mark Lamont Hill, talking about how he had influenced him and Mumia Jabbar have influenced some of my teachings about the divine feminine. And you are also one of those people. And so there's a lot of Black women that influenced it as well. But I find it ironic and very hilarious. How is it hilarious in the sense that some of the biggest influences on my work in terms of the Nakhti Queen Mothership. The Nakhti Queen Mothership covers the African matriarchies, the first version, and then the second one covers structural enterprise architecture from an aspect of the divine feminine as it relates to the 24th century. And then, 21st century. And then the third version of the Nakhti Queen Mothership covers the origins of Masonry, as it relates to the mystical side, the goddess iconography of old, of the history of goddess iconography throughout history in all religions, as well as some very occult, esoteric knowledge as it relates to the teachings of Tahuti, Kali, Yeshua, and as well as my own doctrines and philosophies about resonance and electromagnetism and all types of stuff. Very interesting stuff. We'll cover all of that. But I just find it ironic that some of the influences of that work were Black men. Because you guys get a horrific rap, when it comes to like the divine feminine and matriarchy. But like you were the one teaching the Black woman is God. And so at 19, 18 years old, I'm listening to that, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I take it and just took the ball and just ran it off. And so it's like, okay, the Black woman is God. I'll study it. I'll research it. I'll discover this on my own. I'll look at this material and oh, this is cool information. And so when I talk about the divine feminine and the Nakhti Queen Mothership order, all of those things, you can definitely see some of your influence in that work. And so that's good. And it's another thing because one of the guys that is also one of an influence on me that I had listened to for 12 years, I know that he has to chuckle. I know he has to sit back and just really be like, your ass sat up under me for 12 years listening to my shit about my patriarchal stuff about white supremacy. And you churn out all this stuff about the divine feminine, not the queen of the shit. I wonder, like, what does he think? I laugh about that because, like, most of the people, most of the women that follow him are kind of like very male identified, kind of like they're very male and pick me energy. And it's like, I just know he sits and just think like, what the hell did this child sit for 12 years every Sunday and every Wednesday and watch my damn lives for 12 whole years? And I wasn't really kicking none of it. He wasn't saying the black woman has got none of that. And if you study my body of work, it's just bam after bam, work at, just production after production, knowledge about the divine feminine and the black woman and melanated cosmic science of the divine feminine. And so I just find it interesting. I know he's probably like, that's what you took from that 12 years of studying white supremacy, and that's what and you took that's what you took from my damn teachings. But back to the topic from you. That's what I have to say. That was the biggest thing I walked away. Uh, if I have to say, Sara Seti, that was the biggest thing that I walked away knowing. Bang on that wicked. You said bang on that wicked beast, and then the black woman is God. That's literally the only thing I remember out of everything you Dan said. Oh, it used to come real hard at Christmas. About around every time Christmas come, you like to do the breakdown of Krampus and Satan and Saturn and all that stuff. That's what you do. But now let's get back to I done paid my homage. I done gave you your credit because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to just be disrespectful to an elder. And so now we're gonna just go into the intellectualism of mystic scholarship. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Please keep an open mind as well. When we talk about the earthbound, the earthbound history of Freemasonry, obviously you guys are going to usually start at Egypt, and then you're going to go into the medieval guilds, 12th to 17th century. Now, obviously, we're at this point is where we talk about the guilds of the stonemasons. Now, I'm not denying that Imhotep and you had the they bricks or anything. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying that what I'm talking about is the actual. How did this information get disseminated to the Egyptians? They didn't just come up with it on its own, as you know. You said yourself, all the Masons worship Lucifer. They say they cricket, they lie, they this, they that. You said that. You said it, and so okay, where did Lucifer get information from? Okay, so fallen angels did come, whether they were the interdimensional beings that gave them the Egyptians the information. Tahuti was one of them, by the way. He doesn't get credit for that, but I give him his credit because those of us that are intergalactic and multidimensional sense, we have access to information that the average human does not. And so, how did Lucifer get information? And so, I'm emphatically stating that I know how that happened. I wrote about it. I wrote a whole book on it. It's very controversial information. Uh, Information that is heavily shadow banned, but at the same time is being studied. People are actually studying this work. But we get into that. But as far as the earthbound conceptions of it, to me, this is just boring. I mean, I've covered it in my book that I'm working on, but at the same time, it's not important to anything that I was saying in that comment section where you dragged me. And so obviously we're going to talk about the Moorish stonemasons, and we talk about medieval guilds. That is the Moors domination or conquest of Europe in that sense. Now, they were responsible for constructing, obviously, the cathedrals, monumental buildings in Europe. We all know there was Black people that did that. And so these were skilled craftsmen, and they formed tight-knit organizations known as lodges. And this is where they trained apprentices, shared knowledge, and maintained a strict code of ethics. And this is the lodges were governed by a master mason, and this is where you adhere to various symbolic rituals. So again, 12th to 17th century. Obviously, I did skip Egypt, but I'm not denying that. Because again, I'm going to talk about the philosophical aspect, and I'm going to argue emphatically, Seti, that you have to, the universe is mental, all is mental. Before you lay a brick, before you conceptualize on how to come up with, say, a cathedral or a pyramid, you have to philosophize on it. Even if you have to philosophize on the math alone, just the math itself. the geometry. That's why they talk about all the time of the philosophers. That your greatest philosophers were the greatest mathematicians. That can't be debated. We talk about Pythagorean theorem and algebra and calculus. We know that Black people came up with these things, by the way. Um, this you had to think about these things. Okay, when you talk about like the how when you come up into like pi 3.14 and or certain things that can't be solved, like errors in math, and how do you solve for, you have to think about all of that. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. uh you have to and you have to test it. You do this through the mind. It's just thinking. It's a conception first, and then you go and you use that math, which is a philosophy in a sense, believe it or not, Seti. It's a sacred science. It's a metaphysics, and so it's not far fetched. Then you go and you will lay those bricks, and so that to me, I have to say, is commonsensical. It is spiritual first. It is spiritual first. Then you bring it down to the physical. Spiritual comes before the physical. Are you not a spirit in a human body, Seti? You know these things. You know that you are a spirit in a human body. You know that there are subtle layers to consciousness: higher self, lower self, emotional body, your your intellectual body. There's, and if you don't want to even look at it as body in the sense of like Egyptian or Eastern conceptions, you could look at it as uh, chambers of the mind: conscious mind, prime conscious mind, subconscious mind, superconscious. You can look at it as that too, constructions of consciousness itself. And so Masonry is a mental science. It is intergalactic mentalism. It does not come from planet Earth. It is not earthbound. The earthbound Masonry, by the way, is botched. Um, and a lot of us, we're in the age of the divine feminine, and so there are some entities down here, me being one of them. Um, we've had our little chat with Lucifer. We weren't too proud of him taking the science from that he was taught by. This information is so deep. I don't even like I put it out there. It's public, but at the same time, it's like we're like the human race is like 1,000 years behind. And I'm not even being arrogant or trying to like be rude. It's just is what it is. Like you guys are just behind, and so this stuff is galactic, Seti. Not I don't try to say I'm not talking about aliens and all this. Do not oversimplify what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a mental science. The universe is mental. Okay, so if the universe is mental, then what is the galaxy? And so this is high power, high mind science. And so it is the philosophical and the spiritual masonry that transcends and gives birth and gives rise to the operative masonry, Seti. Now, whatever you read in a textbook, whatever you read in an earthbound history book, and you guys argue about that, this is what the divine masculine does to get into these tips and whatnot, and want to debate and argue about it's speculative and it's operative, and I'm looking like your consciousness come first, your resonance come first. The Egyptians themselves, you said Egyptians came up with this. The Egyptians themselves would tell you Heka comes first. Gotta have Heka or your Odoadad, your eight primordial entities that form the primordial waters and the primordial soup that gives the construction of the universe, and then consciousness and Heka. They tell you this, and then obviously you got the big homie Tahuti just come down and really give you that work. And I've always respected him, and I'm always gonna have a great respect for Tahuti. Um, you guys can say, "Oh, that's woo woo. He ain't real." I don't care. That's not the point. The three initiates, whatever, whoever learned that information, whether they was channeling, whether they were in a mystery school, whether they were in a cult, whether they they somehow that information got out. The Emerald Tablet. Somehow this stuff is out. And so, you know, I've read it, I've channeled it. Most of my stuff is channeled anyways. And in the context of the actual documentation, but it's like, okay, this is cool stuff. And so, and then Tahuti comes in and gives out the big secret to the Egyptians that the universe is mental, all is mental, which we have understanding. That is which is above is like that is which is below. Uh, if you can have an understanding of that, then you would understand the world, you understand the universe. And so, I skip through it, and obviously that's not verbatim, but you guys get the point. It's a mental science. It is mental it's intergalactic mentalism. And so let's continue with the physical history. So then you have transformation into Freemasonry, 17th to 18th century. As the need for cathedral buildings declined, many of these operative lodges began to admit non-stonemasons, such as aristocrats, intellectuals, and other professionals. Okay, and so that's where we make the and this is literally my book. This is literally my book. You see it right in front of you. This book is not published yet. This part is free, so I'm not like showing you anything. Like as you can see, like look how long this book is. Look how long this book is. Look at look at it's 29 chapters. And so I'm not a slouch of a scholar. I don't. I know you guys. I know you probably think like, oh, she's some random person in my comment section talking crazy. I think you know who I am because I comment a lot. But yeah, I'm not just some random, you know, person that just rambles about shit. Don't know what they talking about. Like you see these words speculative, operative. Like, so I have some knowledge of this stuff. Okay, and so again, my approach to this is out of a 3D earth based thinking. So whatever conceptions you have when approaching me as a scholar, I'm most likely gonna. I think in terms of the galaxy, the way the galaxy formations of spirals outside of a 0-1 binary code. Earth, you guys run on a 0-1 binary code in angles, and so me as a divine feminine, as a descendant of the founders of this information, both Earth and spiritual, um, we're moving again. The rest of the galaxy is moved out of angles in 1-0 binary code. You guys are literally the only planet that's that behind, and that's why there's so many of us down here, chosen ones, ancient ones, gods, interdimensional beings, angels, however you want to say it. That's why so many of us down here, because it's like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, it's just that bad. And so we're into spirals right now, mimicking the energy of the galaxy, and we are working outside of the confounds of a 0-1 binary code. So we're talking using the 0-1-0-1-0-1 to program your internets and your web browsers. We are breaking that whole conception, and that is why when you that's, I don't want to get too deep into that, but that is why you can't decode the not you, but that is why for those that's wondering, like, well, why can we figure out a way to mimic or understand some of the humans that's down, some of us that are now out here teaching, me in particular, is because we are operating at a binary code that is it's not binary at all. That's not even the right word. It's a TSC code that it could be a two, it could be a three, it could be a four, it could be a five. It's not just a 0-1-0-1-0-1. We program our worlds. You may have three threes in a row. You may have nine nines in a row. And I'm talking for those who are computer programmers now in computer engineering. And so we're programming our code very different. It's not a logic based program. Okay, it's not a logic based program. It's input output program still, but it's also we're in spirals. That's what the divine feminine and the chaos intelligence. That's where we're at now. That's what's on this planet, and that is why your matrix is glitching, and that is why your shit's all falling apart. Not you, Seti. I'm just. I have to talk to multiple people as I'm doing this. As I'm doing this video, talk to different perspectives. Okay, so after the shift from operative to speculative Freemasonry, and this is not what I was arguing about when I talked about Yeshua, Seti. This is where we talk about the use of symbolism, allegory, and moral teachings rather than the practical craft of stonemasonry. And so again, this is earthbound stuff. I guess this is okay. This is where y'all at. I'm talking about the intergalactic mentalism. Again, if these teachings, even if fallen angels did give y'all this information, okay, Lucifer come down, his fault, they gave y'all a botch ass version. version A didn't understand all the levels either because they got kicked out of a dimension. I'm not going to say, oh, again, all of this stuff is all messed up down here, but uh, they left our dimension, mutual agreement to leave, whatever, left our dimension and took information that they didn't understand and reverse engineer some shit. Reverse engineer, and, it's as simple as that. And so now you have, Goddess says, stolen knowledge has cursed the world. Let's keep going. Founding of the Grand Lodge of England at 1717. Okay, so this was first Grand Lodge, and the birth of modern Freemasonry. And so again, this is where also I have connections, bloodline connections to this as well. My bloodline connections transcend earthbound Freemasonry, but it does have it to the actual origins as well with Saint Bernard in particular. Okay, so we have spread and influence. Freemasonry gained popularity in Europe later. That's okay. So here we go. I was talking about the appendages. Obviously, that is the Order of Eastern Star. Some of the appendages: the Order of the Malay, Order of the Builders, Order of Job's Daughters, or Order of the Rainbow. And so, really, when I made my statement, I wasn't talking about the earthbound history, operative, speculative. That was like the furthest thing from my mind. And I know that's where you jump to because that you as a historian, you're just talking about the history. Like this is what you guys are been taught. This is and obviously you give credit to Egypt. And that's fine. Um, because they did have this knowledge. Egypt certainly had this knowledge. Africa, and it's not just Egypt, but believe it or not, the Mayans had this knowledge as well. Because when we talk about the Atlanteans, and this has nothing to do with Madame Blavatsky, as you were saying. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't even know her work that well. I have to say, Madame Blavatsky. Her work doesn't do anything for me. Like that. That stuff doesn't move me. We talk about like cosmic melanated science, and we talk about the Atlantean dimension. And you guys are still literally. Most humans are literally not even most humans, but like even in the comment section, there were people like, "No, but where's Atlantis located? It's underwater." I'm just like, ugh, ugh. That's a dimension. And so you guys still think Earth is either globe based or flat based and not a dimension itself of 3D frequency. And so what happens is when a dimension merges with one or visits Earth dimension, say the Atlantis dimension visited Earth dimension, and so Atlantean could touch down in Maya, in the Mayan empire, simultaneous as when they touch down in Africa. They touch down in North America. They'll touch down in South America. They'll touch down in Asia. It can happen simultaneously based off a dimension collide. It's kind of like a parallel universe and a parallel universe colliding. But obviously the Atlanteans were way more advanced than the Earth dimension. And so when they came down here, they gave y'all knowledge. They gave the Egyptians this knowledge. They are melanated. I don't understand. Like, this is not some Madame Blavatsky bullshit. Like, here's the thing. Just because information was hidden from most of you humans in terms of like textbooks or secret knowledge and occult knowledge or whatever, just because it was hidden doesn't make it untrue. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean that it's false, or just because you've been lied to or deceived in history books doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about, or do I even care if you guys believe it? No, I don't. Like, I'm not here to try to convert or get y'all to believe what I'm saying. I'm just giving the information out as a mystic, as a master teacher, as a scholar, and that's it. If you guys want to talk about like the actual earthbound origins, we can do that. My book starts off with that. To me, that is literally like 25% of masonry. If we talk about operative masonry, speculative masonry, Prince Hall masonry, Moorish masonry, that's literally like what 25%, 50% of what masonry is. Even what Lucifer taught y'all, or because I know like I don't want to get so esoteric, but even if this came from interdimensional beings, they only still gave y'all. They didn't give y'all 100% of the information because they didn't know it. They didn't know it. So if the descendant comes down here, multiple of us, and I'm saying to you, Seti, Yeshua was one of the ones that had that knowledge of intergalactic mentalism through bloodline. Not only that, but actually studying in Egypt, like you said, mystery school. And so some of us had that through epigenetics. Some of this knowledge is so ancient. and so primordial that it's in our bloodline. That is why I am not initiated. I do come from a bloodline of uh, on both sides of Mason, so it is what it is. But I'm not initiated. I don't plan to be. But and there's been speculation they were going to kill me. They wanted me because it's like I know too much, pretty much. I know way too much. The reason why they let me live is because of the blood. It's very obvious that I'm interdimensional, and it's very obvious that I know some information about this on a mystical level beyond just scholarship and studying and all this stuff. It is very obvious that I'm a channeler and a divine intuitive, so I can, when I'm talking about like, okay, this information transcends earthbound uh, thinking. It's intergalactic. And when I talk about, okay, this part is incorrect because Lucifer hid this information, and to who now we're getting into more of the mystic side of it, and then that's where they're like, whoa, 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 okay. And so they didn't kill me because of me literally being a bloodline descendant of the earthbound and as well as the spirit bound beings that gave you guys the information, that gave Egypt the information. It's heavy. You don't have to believe it. You can scoff at it. You can say, "Oh, she's fucking crazy." Yeah, a crazy person doesn't write 18 books, 19 books in a span of 3 years. A crazy person doesn't. You guys see that I started with the history. Like you guys can see this yourself. It's literally on your screen. Does a crazy person have the capacity to write about Prince Hall Masonry, the history of Moorish Masonry, the Knights Templar? Like, can a crazy person do that? No. And then can they come up with their own version based off of, yeah, because it's in the blood? Like I said, Saint Bernard gave official approval for cop. He the one that navigated me through a lot of stuff. He taught me a lot of the things that you're supposed to be initiated in. He just freely gave it to me, as well as Tahuti, as well as Lucifer, as well as Kali and Yeshua. They just freely gave me through dreams. I'll just say that, through dreams. I have dreams, and in the dreams they come and give me the information. That's what I'll say. And so, um, for those that want to play that role, there's it's good luck. It's very hard. It's very hard. Can a crazy person talk about resonance and electromagnetism correctly, like the actual science of it? No, I don't think so. And so it became quite obvious after writing 18 books, um, scholarly books at that, and some metaphysical, that this person knows some shit. Me being one of one, I know some shit. I'm not in my ego. I just get and I don't need to project this onto you, Seti. It's just that there's so many people that try to discredit me, and it is governmental. Since obviously COINTELPRO still exists, and obviously me being, I would say like I spent some time obviously in the reparations movement, talking about reparations for Black Americans, and that obviously got me on the radar. And then the writings itself, authors, they deal with COINTELPRO, writers, scholars deal with COINTELPRO, but then scholar activists, and I don't really consider myself an activist. To me, I just grassroots Black American. I was just like, hey, I want reparations. That was a short end of it. And then, but you get so worked up and something, and so that also got me on a radar because I spent hours on end and research on end talking about reparations. And and Black Americans and Black American rights and human rights and freedom and justice and liberation and all these things, writing papers on genocide of Black Americans and writing creating whole free narrative films about African history, 100,000 years of African history, 35,000 years of African mathematics. 20. I think it was like 30. Yeah, I think it was 35,000 years of mathematics, 20,000 years of writing, uh, African writing. Because I used to be Pan Africanist, and so I was talking about those things as well. And so all of that, it's like, whoa, let's hurry up and discredit this woman, and and we'll find a way to do that. And so they came after me through the occult, through the esoteric, through covens and all that. So that was their way, obviously. the governmental ways as well, but occult groups came at me as well because they saw somebody who they thought was just giving out all their secrets, or somebody that I guess was breaking their oath. I'm not initiated to no order. I'm not initiated into nothing that's earthbound. Nothing on this planet. I ain't never taken an oath, and I don't plan to, because something about that is backwards. It's off. And so I guess they decided to come for me, because I didn't. I don't know. I don't want to be bothered with that stuff. I know I see. And it's not because I feel like they're beneath me or wrong. I see. It's botched. It's science is backwards, and so I can't get with it. But what I will do is start my own shit. And so, me being a bloodline descendant of the spiritual order of Freemasonry, as well as the Earthbound, I come up with the Nakhti Queen Mothership Order. And so, um, that's where I'm at with it. But nonetheless, let's talk about Moorish Freemasonry. Um, this is not really relevant to the point that I wanted to make, because I want to get to like the point where you dragged me, Seti. But pretty much, I covered Prince Hall Masonry in here. 1775 at Prince Hall, from prominent figure in Boston Methodist and the Black American community. Talk about that. Grand Lodge of England granted its benevolent sanction for African Lodge number 459. And so I talk about the creation of that. And so I'm not just some random person on the internet just talking crazy. There's like this is real stuff, regardless of how much people try to discredit me or shadow ban. My body of work is genius, and I have to. The reason why I have to give myself my own flowers and toot my own horn, because I've been put through the ringer by these people and in the government, and they're not going, like, it's been an actual, like, let's just act like, let's ignore that body of work, but still hurry up and secretly study it, and try to take it and hurry up and study it. Like, they study my stuff at the highest levels and in think tanks. And so that's annoying. It's just fucking annoying. And so that's why, like, you can hear that frustration, because, like, even like when I made my statement on your video, you were like, that's bullshit. I gotta correct this, because I guess you heard people saying, you're right, Kali. And you're like, oh, we gotta stop this. Oh no, and I'm just like, why are people coming at me like that? Like, and it's not, and it's kind of sad, because then everybody wants you to be humble. You got to be you got to show humility or whatever. But it's like, no, like, yes, at that same time, but like, do not know who I am. It's like, no, I'm not just some random person. Like, and then you want to defend your body of work, because you're literally telling your audience that, well, everything that I'm saying is bullshit. Oh, that's bullshit. That ain't right. That ain't. And I'm like, I'm expected to, I don't know what that's about, but I'm like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. Because a person that talks bullshit wouldn't produce this. They wouldn't be able to succinctly put this information together coherently. So now we talk about the Moorish Freemasonry with the figure of Mamadi Angelo Solomon. Okay. Now he was called the Royal Moor, the Noble Moor, Princely Moor, Court Moor. And so this is all free. You have to go to my Twitter page and click the first pinned tweet. You have to go to the Chief Architect of the Universe folder. It's a Google folder that's free. And that's where all my esoteric teachings, original teachings from me, Kali J.N.S, Jenny Nunn Stanley. And you would click on that, and then you would be able to get to my teachings. And there is a redacted version, but as far as like this information, the history of it, that can be freely accessible. Now, the rest of this stuff, like when we start going into my order and my teachings and my knowledge and science, as you can see with all of the outline here, scrolling down, that is not free. You have to buy the book. You would have to buy it. But the first couple of chapters are like free, for sure. So if you guys want to know more about it, get into it, because I'm not going to cover it. So now we talked about my ancestor who organized Earthbound Freemasonry, St. Bernard. St. Bernard had Moorish blood. He looked white. St. Bernard looked white, but he had, you got to know, we all know that the Moors ruled Europe for 800 years. Black people, and so they did mix with the Caucasian there that they found there when they found them bathing in their own feces and not actually not bathing at all, but like living next to their kitchen and their they it was we all know what happened when it was in the dark ages, the Moors went over there. Moors. But anyways, they mixed in with those people, and so a lot of people who come off pale skin, you're light skin, Seti. A lot of people who come off like bro the pale, they would have Moorish light codes, or and Moors have a certain light code as well. Um, Beyond just obviously, we talk about DNA now, epigenetics, and so Saint Bernard has that, and so Bernard of Clairvaux, he gave me a lot of my information about the Earthbound Freemasonry. By the way, he's the one that taught me. That he's the one that started Order of the Knight Templar, and so we talk about that. This is all freely available too, if you guys want to know more about it, because I'm not going to read it. It's just irrelevant to the point that I made in the comment section of Seti's video. Obviously, the Knights Templars' connection to Freemasonry and Black Moors in Europe and America. That's where I come in. Black Moors that came here, Black Moors to America as colonizers, well, taking Indian land, Black indigenous land, enslaving Africans. They're fucked up people. Starting a shadow government and letting their white heir descendants, like Thomas Jefferson and blah blah blah, Thomas Adams, John Adams and all them niggas, the Moors, George Washington, they have Moorish light codes. I'm not saying they were black. I'm just saying it is what it is. Setting them up to run America. um, and blackmailing. I won't say blackmailing, but screwing over the Black indigenous. But they still mix with them. They still mix with the women. And so many Black Americans, like when people like to say, you Black Americans, y'all just hate yourself because y'all trying to claim more, y'all trying to claim Hebrew. This stuff is intergalactic. So it's through the epigenetics. So it's not so much just because you see brown skin, or it doesn't mean we're all the same. And so your light codes will look differently. And so people laugh at certain Black people because they say they're Moors. You shouldn't laugh at them. It's very much well documented. People know who they are. People know who they are. That does not mean they have the issue with melanin. I love being melanated. What's wrong with being melanin? And so the issue is not being Black, brown skin, dark skin, light skin. That's not the issue that we have when we say that we're Sephardic Moors, or we have Sephardic Moorish background in our genealogy, or because we have a knowing, a gnosis of who we are, or that we have indigenous background. It's not because we hate that we African, and all that, or we hate Africa and all this nonsense. Melanin transcends Africa. You cannot prove that melanin came from Africa. Melanin is in the damn cosmos. Melanin is in the universe. That's why we talk about Black. Now you have what they did was switch the legalese down here, earthbound, maritime admiralty law, and say that Black is blah 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 blah. Black is da 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 servitor mortuus, whatever. But in the galactic law, chaos intelligence realm, Black is synonymous with melanin and resonance, and so it's a complete opposite. So that's what they did. They try to mirror us and bury the people that are the rightful heirs um, to run governance down here. And so they had to do that by demonizing um, demonizing darkness itself, and demonizing Black, and then putting, because legalese is high level, Heka is high level occult magic, law, contracts, all of that is just high level Heka. Um, it's not the highest, but it's still high level compared to Earthbound. And so when they set up these laws and set up your legalese and the wordings and to trap you, so everything is to trap the soul, to time loop you. And so they did that very successfully with melanated people, unfortunately. But we're moving into age of divine feminine, and so things are changing. And so what you're seeing, and we talk about the chaos intelligence realm, like when I talk about the divine feminine, and the books that the chapters that I wrote on chaos intelligence, primordial intelligence, darkness, and it's in this book, it's in my other books as well. We are ushering in not so much universal law, but galactic law. So we're moving out of the maritime admiralty law of water that currently governs Earth dimension and the divine feminine, and we're moving back into universal. Then we're going to push it into galactic, where we're merging the two. And so you're going to hear things more about darkness and chaos intelligence and entropy and melanin, in particular melanin, consciousness, Hecka, resonance, electromagnetism. You're going to hear all of these things just come into common day lexicon. And I know for a fact I'm the first person to write on these things, and I see it every day where it's coming, it's pushing, pushing as far as chaos intelligence, melanin, entropy, understanding as it is, and one as a part of the divine feminine. We're going into that, and so we're going to see less and less stigma around darkness, dark skin, black skin. Okay, because the issue is not black skin or dark skin. The when we claim our set, when we claim our epigenetics, when we claim our bloodlines, when we claim our genealogy, or even when we claim our, again, this is our intergalactic, interdimensional essence. We are just simply saying, like, look, I am not an African because I have this light code. An African is is cosmically, yes, we brother and sister, cousins, whatever, however we connected through melanin, sure, cosmic melanin. Some of us may even come from the same star system, same constellation. But to say that we all just one and the same, like, nah, that's why a lot of them don't get along. That's why you see certain African tribes they'll never get along. They've been warned for 2,000 years before the white man even stepped foot over there. It's because they know it's a clash in even the star systems. Just like when you come to North America, or even South America, you see some of the Indian tribes, they never got along. Or some of and then they talk about they from Pleiades, and another one is talk about they from Sirius A, and they just clash. You know, it's the same thing in Africa. It's the same thing with Black Americans. It's the same thing over here. Some of us just can't get along because you're a different whole damn species. Spiritually, yeah, you got black skin, you look like a human. We look the same. Might be even the same color. Still may be a different light code. You may be an Atlantean, descendant of Atlantean. You may be a descendant of Pleiadian. You may have both. Some of you are hybrids. Some of you humans are literally hybrids of 12 species. Can you imagine that? Galactic species. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. I know we ain't there yet. I know that's about what, 2,000 years from now, y'all gonna understand it. Y'all gonna be 1,000 years from now. What I just said, oh, you're a hybrid of 12 species. Atlantean, Pleiadian, Andromedan, Avian. Yeah, it's gonna be common knowledge. I'm just way too early. And I'm not actually way too early because it's a lot of humans that understand this shit. It's a lot. It's probably millions. It's probably it maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it is millions. But it's a lot of humans that understand what I be saying. Either they like to play dumb, they under oath, so they gotta act like they don't know what I'm talking about, or it's too controversial to say it. But you guys know uh, that we are interdimensional, and that Earth is a plane of existence, of a state of consciousness, 3D, 5D level. Stacked and layered, we have 70, 60, 80, 90. It's not flat base, Earth base, globe base planet. Playnet. They call it playnet for a reason. It's a plane of existence. It's a little bit too deep, but again, 1,000 years from now, would be like, everybody would be saying it. When they ask, what are you? You think people are going to be saying black, white? I'm white, I'm black, I'm Latin. They may say that, but they're going to say, I'm a chaos intelligence being. They're going to say, I'm an avian, I'm an Atlantean. And guess what? It's going to transcend race. That's the beautiful thing. Because all you humans, you want to sit and argue about, oh, I'm black, and have race wars and all this stupid shit. It's going to get to the point where you're going to have to do your genealogy, raise your vibration. Once you raise your vibration high enough to higher consciousness, then you're going to have light codes revealed onto you by your ancestors or by your galactic family, and they're going to tell you this is where we once came from. And it's galactic, it's cosmic. And so you're going to be running around claiming your cosmic set over your race. You're going to run over 1,000 years from now, somebody's going to say, what's you? I'm Pleiadian. I'm mixed. I'm Pleiadian and avian and Andromedan, or they just say I'm a hybrid. I'm the hybrid. I'm the one with the 12 species because they did tamper with y'all, with humans and black humans especially. Uh, Africans and Black Americans and Caribbeans. And so we're going to move beyond a day. Mark my words, 1,000 years from now, you're going to see, say two Black people, right? They're the same color. And they're going to know through high vibration, through a high level of understanding of intergalactic mentalism, they're going to know where they came from. And they're going to say, where are you from? I'm from Sirius A. Where are you from? I'm from Andromeda. Oh, cool. We same color. They literally the same color. I'm from Andromeda. And it's going to be like that. And then you're going to have a white person come, or Latino person, whatever. They're going to say, where are you from? Niggas, I'm from Sirius A. I'm from Pleiadian. And then you're going to have another Black person, I'm from Pleiadian too. And then the Pleiadians, whether they white or Black, they'll find that kind of tribal connection. And you'll have chaos intelligence beings, which are the ones that gave birth to everybody, by the way. You're going to see us around too. We're mostly brown skin, mostly melanated. But there are some that will know. You'll know. You'll know. And so, Seti, my question to you: are you earthbound? Are you indigenous to Earth, or what's your? And I know it's deep. I know it's like, oh gosh, but this is the divine feminine. We are mystics. We are getting into the best seers, your best symbols, your best oracles. They've always been women. They always will be. You ran around saying the Black woman is God. If you didn't want a Black woman to actually believe you and follow what you said and apply it, you shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have said it. So the Black men, they like to study my stuff, and they secretly, in their little brotherhoods, and they be studying, and they get upset at me, try to say, maybe some of them even say I'm feminist, or I'm this, or I'm that. But it's like, my body of work was mainly influenced by Black men. So what do you have to say for yourself? What do you have to say for yourself? I'm trolling. No, but seriously, no, seriously, my body of work on the divine feminine, work for Black women, was mainly inspired by Black men running around in Harlem talking about the Black woman is God. So if you didn't want the divine feminine to be ushered in, you manifested that. You manifested that, Black men. Sara said, y'all manifested that. Y'all ran around. The Black woman is God. The Black woman is God. Okay, just saying that, speaking at Hecka, right in Harlem, out in New York City, having young girls listening to that, what do you think reverberates throughout the universe? You woke up a sleeping giant. So now that we're in the age of the divine feminine, what did you think that was going to usher? That was going to usher in the age of the divine feminine. So now we're in the age of Aquarius. Now we're in the age of of Kali Ma. This is different from Kali Yuga. We're into the age of Kali Ma, Shakti, Oya, whatever you want to say. The goddesses, all of us, easily down to her. We're in that age, and then y'all want to come at me. Black men want to attack me, looking at me, and I'm saying this astrally, but even some physically, but astrally, a lot of them study my work, and physically. And they want to say, oh, we got to keep her quiet and bury that work or whatever. You manifested it. You manifested it. Just like that nigga that I've been listening to for 12 years that literally came after me and helped in some ways, but literally came after me in the spiritual realm. You manifested it. You manifested this. The age of the divine feminine. So all of y'all want to complain. The Black men want to complain. Oh, we didn't get our chance or whatever because the age of Saturn is here. Chrome Mother Saturn's back. Kali Ma's back. All of these goddesses are back. The ancient ones are back. Chosen one's back. Shekinah Glory's back. All of these things. Sophia's back. And now everybody running for cover. Yeshua's back. Tahuti's back. I'm speaking in code now. Don't take it so literal. Don't take it so literal, please. You manifested it. You did that. So let's get to my actual statement. Let's actually get to the actual statement. So we have, I said Yeshua was the greatest Mason, the original, a true blood. No oath taken. Let me actually go here, share this tab. Okay. I want to make sure. Okay. Just want to make, sometimes like the tab don't be sharing and shit, And I don't be wanting to. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Yeshua was the greatest Mason, original and true blood, no oath taken, which is why they killed him. Again, so knowing what we know about Masonry not being earthbound is intergalactic science, mental science. Comes from a particular room, the chaos intelligence room, my room, comes from my order. It was given, we was teaching this to, it wasn't a secret, a society, it wasn't an oath or anything, it was just common knowledge uh, based off of a certain state of consciousness or vibration. And so, honestly, kids, age 5 to 10, and it had nothing to do with Satanism, sex, magic, Baphomet, had nothing to do with that. None of that. Please do not bring that shit into what I'm saying, because it's just gonna be off. But we were teaching these things to angels, and angels at that level are like children. They are like ages 5 to 10, I would say. And so, ages 5 to 10 learn the first levels of intergalactic mentalism and energies, how to modulate various vibrations of energy, channel archetypes, kind of just like in the movie, in the show Avatar, where you saw the best example of that. We saw Aang, an Avatar, not Avatar, yeah, the Airbender show. We saw Aang like learning how to master the elements, earth, water, fire, air, all that stuff. Um, but what they were learning was monarch mentalism, a very high level form of mental science. It's all through the mind, of how to master archetypes and mentalism. So that means being able to change the elements, being able to bend the laws of the universe at will. This is where you change the water to wine and cause wind, hurt, that kind of stuff. But this wasn't on Earth, okay? This is what we were teaching the angels. Obviously, Lucifer was an angel. We were teaching all of them that. They learned this information. They come down here to Earth. They didn't know everything yet because they weren't at the highest levels. The highest information was available. It was out there in books and stuff. It would. However, they just didn't understand it. They didn't know how to apply it because they weren't. Again, it's compartmentalized. It's not secret. It's just compartmentalized. So just like you go, you're in seventh grade. What is it? In ninth grade, you're learning biology. The information on environmental science in 10th grade or physics, it's freely available, but you're not learning physics yet because you're going to wait till you get to 11th, 10th grade. You're just learning biology. So it's the same in the chaos intelligence room. You're going to learn your first set of what you guys call what you guys call masonry is called intergalactic mentalism, monarch mentalism, masonry, whatever. You're going to learn the first elements of that, and then you're going to go to the next level. It's out there, but you're not learning that yet. And so when they came down here, they gave humans the information and didn't um, give all of the parts of it, or they botched it, or reversed it, or hid some of it for whatever reason. And so that's what happened down here. That's what happened. And so when I said Yeshua, I was talking about in a spiritual sense. I'm not saying not trying to get people to be Christians or when I talk about Yeshua, it has nothing to do with Christianity. That's nothing to do with what you guys call him, a fictional character with a mixture of what Mithra and some of the stories line up parallel to the Egyptian pantheon. I'm not arguing that. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the person that got killed by the Roman secret societies because of the information that they were given to him being as a priest of Melchizedek, as a Jew, as a descendant of a dragon rider, who studied occult science in Egypt and in India. That person. Now they put all this other shit in there when the Roman Catholic, I'm saying that when the Roman Empire decided to concretize Christianity and make it the state religion and uh, go with the councils of Nicaea and come up with the actual um, canonization of the Bible. What they did with it from there on, that I'm not talking about that. I am not here to try to push any belief on anybody. I don't care what you believe. I don't. Like I'm just here as an interdimensional being setting the record straight. whatever the Roman Catholic, the Roman Empire, Constantine, his name was Constantine at the time, whatever he decided to do to bastardize Christianity or mess it up or add shit in it, talk about, whatever he did with the story of Yeshua at that point, messed it all up and got the whole world thinking one thing. And that's not my problem. And I'm not here to lend credence to that or to get other people to buy into that. And so I think Seti, you got, because a lot of this is in a conscious community where you guys have such a bone in your ass about Yeshua because you guys can't stand Christianity and what Christianity did to uh, melanated people, whether that be the missionaries in Africa or even in America, what they did with Black American slaves. How they pushed it down our throat and switched verses in the Bible to, but you got to obey your master and all this stuff. So y'all got such a bug in your ass about some shit that maybe it's right to have that, but I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about what they did and bastardize that stuff. And I can't. To me, when I'm talking about a whole nother component of I don't know, like that's why we have this distinction where it's like this earthbound stuff and this fucked up history that they gave everybody, this botched stuff that they gave everybody, and then you have uh the mystic side of things, like the intuitive cosmic melanated science. You know what melanated cosmic science is, Sara Seti? Like that is different. Yeshua has nothing to do with Christianity. Yeshua ain't got nothing to do with what they put in that King James Bible. Like a lot of that stuff, like I'm not here to sit up there and try to indoctrinate people. I know the codes that's in that Bible. Yeah, there's a lot of codes. It's a code in there that teach you how to create an ideal parallel universe. Just one verse. Literally, one verse would teach you how to open up your pineal gland, do Kundalini meditation. Literally, I can give you the verse. Pineal, open up your pineal gland, practice alchemy, Kundalini, and open up your Kundalini energy. Uh, integrate your prime conscious mind with your conscious mind. It's literally a code in the Bible that one verse alone, just one verse in the Bible, literally give you everything that I just said. Literally will give you all of that. If you are a bloodline descendant of that information, that doesn't mean go ahead and believe it or do, because guess what? Same thing in a lot of the Buddha texts, Rig Veda, Ifa. You come on, like it's a bloodline. These are high level sciences from interdimensional beings that they're ancient, thousands of years old. They gave out this information, and every now and then you get one that come in the universe that come through this plane and update the information or give you new stuff. It's as simple as that. And so I'm not here to, just because I gravitate where my ancestors did. My IPU, being a descendant of more of the Sephardic Moorish energy, as well as indigenous African, whatever. I don't get into it. Obviously European, as well as African and indigenous and Sephardic Moorish. My light codes from my epigenetics resonate with descendant of dragon riders. Now, the descendant of dragon riders created several IPUs, that of the Eastern pantheon, Egyptian pantheon, and obviously Judaism. And so when I can crack open these books. I can crack open a Rig Veda or a Bhagavad Gita or a Bible or the Guru Nanak, and I can and people were reading. They'll see one thing, they'll see something, they'll fly over their head, and I can look at it and get the intergalactic mentalism code that it was meant for my bloodline, because I'm the descendant of the chaos intelligence realm, the people who started all of this, the beings that created all of this, by the way, the God realm. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, that verse means something so powerful that just like it just blow your fucking mind, blow your mind. It really will. It really will. So Psalms 19. Uh, whew, I mean, you'll see some things in there. You'll see a lot of codes that fly over people's head. And so when it comes down to Yeshua, Seti, now let's talk about Yeshua. This was an interdimensional being that got sent from the chaos intelligence room. Obviously, priest of Melchizedek, a descendant of a dragon rider, melanated man, also occultist. He studied in Egypt and India. He understood intergalactic mentalism. He was a Mason by blood. He did not have to take no oath or get initiated. It's by blood. It was passed down through the epigenetics. He's a descendant of the people who founded it. And it's like when they say, is Jehudi and Jesus the same? Is Jehudi and Yeshua the same? They're related. He those are his teachings, obviously. um, Same with when they talk about, well, he's the morning star. I'm calling Jesus the morning star. I'm calling Lucifer the morning star. Is Jesus and Lucifer the same? Is Jesus falling? Like all these questions, that the scholars, like those of us that are really deep into this, or the esotericists and the spiritual intuitives, like we'll ask those questions. You're not far off, and it doesn't even matter if you really believe that person exists, or they're a son of God, or you got it. You don't. It's not. We're so beyond that. We're so beyond that childish thinking. So I'm not here to say you guys gotta, you know, pushing dogma on people, pushing a belief system on people. That is just so way below my pay grade. I ain't even gonna hold you. And so I think like when people say Yeshua or Jesus, they think they immediately the conscious community niggas, y'all just immediately, oh no, y'all trying to push Christianity, y'all trying to push that shit on our people after what they did to us in slavery, or and Jesus, that's a made up character, and they took the story of Mithra, and they took the story of him turning water into wine from the J.N.S in Egypt. Maybe they did. The people the niggas that came up with that in the Council of Nicaea, they probably did just started adding shit in here. I don't doubt that. I know for a fact they added some stuff in there. Talk about if someone slaps your cheek, one cheek, turn the other cheek and have them slap that cheek. I know for a fact he ain't say that shit. And so, yeah, they added stuff in it. The point is, when it comes to intergalactic mentalism and his understanding of it naturally by blood as an interdimensional being, as a descendant of a dragon rider, he knew that naturally. That is why, yeah, so he probably did read that story of Dionysus, water and the wine. Do I believe he did it? Yeah, I know for a fact you could do that stuff. A lot of stuff that he was doing was at that time, 2,000 years ago, you had to be initiated, Seti. You had to be in a secret society. You couldn't just go around freely doing these things. That's why they tried to kill me. You can't just go around freely pointing your finger and calming the winds and starting hurricanes and doing all this shit. They'll lock your ass up. They kill your ass. That's the real reason why they killed him, made him a blood sacrifice, killed him, eat his body and blood, eat his crackers, and what is it? Eat the body as the crackers, drink the blood. Satanism. It's closeted Satan. A lot of Christianity is closeted Satanism. Let's be real. That's why I said Yeshua has nothing to do with Christianity. If he came down, y'all say he coming back, whatever. I don't care what you believe. He will find it abhorrent. A lot of that stuff that y'all following. Even the behavior of Christians, he will find abhorrent. Like, oh my gosh, like, okay, okay, I guess. He ain't judgmental. Because we get what happened. A lot. It's not necessarily humans' fault, But so it's like you'll have compassion at the same time. But it's like those who cause the mischief, you'll be looking at you. That's who our energy is directed towards. Like, what the fuck did you do? Why did y'all do that to them? Why did y'all tell them people that? Why did y'all lie about that? Why did y'all add that in? Why did you take that out? Why did you hide that information? Why did you tell them people? Why y'all not telling them that man was murdered? Someone God said and gave it only begotten. I got them people believing that shit, and it's like, nah, he was killed by the secret societies because he was giving out powerful Roman secret society than Jewish ones because he was giving out codes freely to humanity. We talk about the 12 disciples of the 12. That's a code for the 12 cranial. Let me actually go here and try to explain this because again, this is some and again, this is why they was like, damn, should we knock her off because we got another one. We got another one that done slept through the cracks of the time space matrix. Cracked, snuck her ass down through. And it's not just me, it's a bunch of us, by the way. It's a bunch of us. But it's like, we weren't supposed to the same with Yeshua. He was sent down here from the chaos intelligence realm to send a message to the fallen angels. And obviously, to give the message, not to send, to give a message to them. Obviously, the ones that oversee this planet Earth, as well as teach humans the proper version of intergalactic mentalism. Pharisees, high level officials did not like that, did not want to see that happening. So they killed his ass. Now all of this play out in time space differently. So you'll have a 3D play out. You'll have obviously the Roman Emperor, charges. You'll have a Judas. All that stuff may or may not play out. But then we're talking in the astro. You'll have different things going on. And so what I'm saying is that the fallen angels set all of that up. That and their message to us was, "Oh, we about to make him a blood sacrifice." That's our message to the chaos intelligence realm. We're about to hang his ass right on the cross for coming down here talking about he about to teach these humans about the kingdom of God within, and so I'll tell you about this 12 disciple code because this is all a code, by the way. And that's why I'm saying he's an excellent master teacher. That doesn't mean I'm not pushing Christianity on people. I'm just not. I have a very expanded, broad consciousness on this information. And so when you talk about the 12 disciples, that represent the 12 cranial nerves, which controls your motor and sensory functions, okay? And so these nerves are obviously connected to the brain. So those disciples represent the octave of resonance that must be organized to take control over the mainframe, pretty much can take control over your mind. So he's pretty much, because the mind control system had been already in place as far as interdimensionally. And so what he was coming down here was to give them certain components of the science of intergalactic mentalism. That's why the parables is not understood by most people. A lot of stuff he was teaching flies over people's head, even to this day, because even though, and a lot of people say that's why he got slack, because that's why he wasn't protected, say from like a Tahuti or whatever, because you kind of supposed to say things out plainly. And even though he did say things out plainly, sometimes you're in the 3D. We obviously on planet Earth, right? But sometimes your level of consciousness could be at a 2045D level. It could be out galactically, and so you'll be talking to humans and you'll be saying stuff, and you think you understand what you're saying, but then the average human like, why are you talking to parables? I don't understand what that means. I don't get what that. I don't understand what you're talking about. And so that could have happened as well, or it could have been purposeful as far as like him talking to his particular people and his following for them to understand it, because they did study a lot, and then having it to where those who are in the public, they didn't understand it, but they saw the miracles or they saw him, doing the things with the healing and all. That's just molecular action. Being able, that's just psychomancy. Psychomancy. Being able to touch somebody and heal them through electromagnetism and photons and infrared rays. Anybody can do that. That's why he said, greater work shall you do than me. He said that. And guess you can do that. It's a bunch of people that can heal people. Your eye, you say you blind, it can open up your eyes again. What else was he doing? Raising people from the dead and all that stuff. You could take your hand. If you generate enough photons and electromagnetism in your body at will, and you say somebody dead, you place your heart in there, you push your hand. And I could show you a video of a black man bringing a dead ass dog back to life through electromagnetism with his fucking hands and breath. I could show you the video of it. It's already viral. It's not something I'm making up. You guys probably already know what I'm talking about. If you take your hand and put your hand on somebody's chest and they dead, and you, through your intergalactic mentalism, through your high power science of mind science, which Yeshua knew, which is why he was killed, and they bring their ass back to life, like that's not far fetched. That can totally be done. That's that to me. The thing is, they don't want the average human being able to do that. So when he was going around teaching those codes of how to do it, how to channel molecular action through your body, when you talk about, you look at the see from da go here to there, and a lot of us we think we think he playing. We think that's just so far fetched. You ain't gonna look at no mountain and then you say from here to go yonder, that mountain gonna move, and people really don't, they don't. But imagine having that level of mind science power. This is why they killed him. Having that level of mind science power where you believe it and you know it and you can do it. So if that's where somebody, if they at that level, then they at that level. And so when I said he's a master mason and he's a great mason, that's what I meant. He that level of intergalactic mentalism to be able to look to do that, calm the winds. That's what I meant. I'm not talking about, we need to go believe in him and he, whatever, like whatever you thought I was thinking about, like Christianity and all this stuff that they did and speculative masonry and operative. We talking some way other shit than that. Nah. And guess what? Like he said, greater work shall you do than me. Here's the thing. There's the left-hand path with Kali and Shiva. They know how to do that stuff. They taught it too. They taught intergalactic mentalism. They're descendants of dragon riders too. Just again, I know this information was hidden from humanity, and a lot of this stuff is shadow banned. But as far as my work, is because I know this stuff. And so, say you have Shiva, you have some school of thought like the in the Koala Upanishad or whatever. They'll teach you this exact same thing that Yeshua was teaching, right? Because he studied a lot of that stuff. The thing is, if you go and you get initiated into that stuff and you learn how to do it, they won't let you leave, and they'll monitor for the rest of your life because they don't want an average human having that level of power where you can bring rain, you can bring thunder, you can bring people back from the dead, you can kill people with your mind and all this stuff. It is people that, and even in Africa too, they got it in Africa as well, and in India. And so don't think it's just don't But I personally, what I respect is that again, we come from a certain realm. Yeshua comes from my realm, and so when he came down here and just gave it out, which is what Earth was supposed to always, it was supposed to have that information. The information was never supposed to be hidden. That's why planet Earth is so behind. And so the reason why I personally, because I know that they've killed other people who've tried to do that, not just him, others as well. And I know that they tried to kill me. We came down here not realizing or not understanding why this stuff had to be secret, because it's naturally in our blood. It's naturally who we are. So we don't understand why it had to be a secret in the first place. It sounds odd to us. And so, unbeknownst to us, we'll come down here giving out all this information, talking about intergalactic mentalism, talking about molecular action, talking about how to increase your photons at will, how to, or not even, some of us, it's not even we can explain it scientifically. We don't have to explain it scientifically. We can just do it, and it will go on blabber our mouth on all on the internet, like how I was doing. I didn't know what I was teaching was like stuff that's supposed to be a cult secret society, like you giving all our secrets out. What the fuck you doing? We about to kill your ass. I didn't know that. Yeshua didn't know it either. Okay. Now he studied in mystery school, sure, in Egypt and in India, learned from learned Buddhism and learned left hand path with Kali. Like he knew this stuff. That's very obvious. If you read the Bible, read them little tablets, read Bhagavad Gita. If you read that stuff, if you read all of it, you'll realize, okay, Yeshua clearly was studying that stuff. That's why, when I say he was the greatest Mason, I mean that. I mean, he's that by blood. You don't have to take an oath. You don't have to it's in your epigenetics. You naturally come out knowing this stuff. When your grandfather dies, and again, this stuff was taught by, now we about to really get deep. The highest levels of Freemasonry was created by women. You guys can get mad and say, that's why they wanted to kill my ass. Like, it's the truth. It's the truth. Now, and we all know that. It comes from the Order of the Dragon Riders, Order of Kali, Order of Tahuti. Now the Order of Dragon Riders created the Atlantean dimension. We're getting interdimensional. We're getting intergalactic. It is not my fault that this stuff was hidden from you. It is not our fault that this stuff was buried. And so when we come out with it, talking about it now in 2024, everybody looking at us like we're heretics, or we trying to switch up stuff, or they getting upset at us, the occultists, the secret societies, the Cohens, or whatever. And we're just looking like, yo, well, we just came down here, like, what's going on here? We just giving out the information. We don't really even have a clue of what really, the severity of how other people perceive it, because it's in our bloodline. And so that's what happened with him. He got on the radar of the Roman Empire, got on the radar of the Roman and Jewish secret societies, and they planned that, all that hanging on the cross, and then you got Constantine with the canonization of the Christian Bible. At that point, adding all types of shit. He had 350 bishops, and guess what? The black bishops were killed, or they had to run for their life because they was trying to stop. They was like, no, you can't just teach people. You can't just add stuff in there like that. You can't just hide all that stuff from these people. Like, what are y'all doing? Is they realize, yo, that's a crime. Like, because these were actual mystics, right? These were actual bishops, and they thinking like, now we the guardians of this secret, not so much secret, but we're the guardians of the sanctity of this knowledge. Like we talk about the Essenes and the Nagamati. Like, there were the Gnostics pretty much. A lot of the original Gnostics, they got killed. They had to run for their motherfucking life or be in exile, because they were trying to stop that from happening. As far as like the canonization given a watered down version of intergalactic mentalism, so where the average human uh, can be controlled through religion, can be an idiot pretty much, and externalize their power, or eat the blood and what drink the blood of Jesus and eat his body through crackers and satanic ritual, that type of shit. Like that a lot of bishops spoke up. You know, out of the Gnostics, they spoke up about it. They said, "No, that ain't cool." Uh, but I won't call them bishops, priests. Jewish priests as well. They was like, "What the hell's going on here?" And they got killed. If you get with the program, the Roman Empire program of what we about to do, because we're about to make this a state religion, and we about to have these people believing in this stuff because they already saw some of the miracles he was doing. They already saw, and they don't want you to know that that's all supposed to be secret society. That's supposed to be a secret science, an occult science, and he's supposed to be quiet about it. And so he came out there through his bloodline as being a descendant of the Dragon Riders and part Atlantean, coming down here on this planet, teaching all these humans, all even that little group he did have in Rome, even that small little group, it was enough to where people was writing about it. It was enough to where it was spreading. It was obviously he's like a rock star, you know. And so he's like, well, they already saw it, so what we gonna do? Have them worshiping? Shit, we just say he's the son of God. We'll add all this stuff in it, and put story of Mithra in that bitch too, because we saw that we'll add all types of shit and carry on about the way. Have a church, state sponsored indoctrination on high level social programming, high level social mind control, through Christianity. Why not? And then because he said Constantine said this himself. You guys go look this up. With religion, I can really run the whole world. I could really get motherfuckers to follow me if I push a state religion. And so that's what he did. And so I'm not talking about that component of it. I'm not talking about what a human did with sacred knowledge or intergalactic mentalism, mind you. Whatever they did with that stuff, I don't condone it. I don't condone what they did with the canonization of the Bible. I don't condone what King James did with the King James version. I don't condone that. But I can still open it up, and I can look at a verse and I can see the original meaning of it, or I could go look it up. Let me go look up the Hebrew, the try to go and get the historic context. Just like the original version of the Lord's Prayer. You look at the original version in Aramaic versus the King James version or the English version. It'll blow your mind. They're talking about vibration, electromagnetism, resonance. They talk about it right there in the first. It's quite mind blowing. The original Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. That's the only one the new one. I'm like, what the hell did y'all do? So I'm not here to push no religion on nobody. I don't give a damn what you believe, because it's all come from a certain IPU. It's all IPUs from a certain dimension, the chaos intelligence room. And we know the beings and species that we sent down here on each plane, whether that be India, Africa, America, North America, to give out the information. And that's why in all 22 mainstream religions, including the esoteric sciences of Africa, like Ifa, Palo Mayombe, it's all intergalactic mentalism. Do y'all not see that? Y'all cannot see the connections between that? Between some of the teachings of the Rig Veda and the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible? I can't see how some of the teachings are literally the same. And so that's how I know when I mentioned Yeshua. Now, do you have to believe any of the IPUs? No, create your own. I created my own. I've studied all of them and even practiced some of them. And even, but I created my own. I created Nakhti philosophy, my own in intergalactic mentalism, because I'm an interdimensional being that understands high level science. And I understand that you create your own IPU. And that's what Yeshua was trying to get humans to understand as well. And they killed his ass for it, because they said, we're not in that time yet. You're not supposed to be teaching them that. You're not supposed to be running around trying to teach humans. He was teaching astral projection. We all know that. That's why him and Miriam Magdala, they were doing astral projection. You guys can look at the ancient Gnostic texts and read that for yourself. He was teaching them physics and chemistry. He was doing it was too much for them at that time. It's like, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. For when you're supposed to be initiated and keeping your oath and being quiet. And he was that by blood, because he came from the descendants that created the original science, the ones that taught Lucifer, and the ones that came here and gave you the botched ass version. Yeah, we learned it directly from the head honcho, it's herself. So when you'll see more humans coming down here in 2024 that look like humans, but they obviously have different light codes in their epigenetics, and you'll see them talking about certain things that you don't understand. How do they know that information? Because they're not initiated, or they're not occultists, or they're not in any orders. But how do they know that information? It's because it's in their bloodline. That's why. And so um we're getting, there's a rift in the spiritual realm, in a sense where it's not so much a rift like we're angry at Lucifer, but it's like you taught a lot of, you gave them fucked up information. You gave humanity fucked up information. And so we're just giving the rest of the information out. It's as simple as that. We're just giving the rest of the information out. Do you have to believe it? Do you have to follow it? No, but for those who want to ascend in consciousness, particularly become enlightened or stop time loops, soul ascension, develop equanimity of the mind, or believe in yourself and to transcend, whether that be through godhood or whether you want to go through the more traditional route, left hand path, right hand path, middle path, whatever. Whether you go, because even the ones that say, like with some of the yogis that follow the left hand path, that do know how to do the same stuff that Yeshua was doing, turn water into wine, boil water with their eyes and shit, and uh, bring a tornado and bring a thunder and all that. To this day, there's some that know how to do that, but they are initiated, and they cannot leave out of they cannot leave India. They cannot leave at all. They are monitored 24/7, and they had to do that through as a priest, as a yogi. You have to. They devoted to God, believe it or not. They still submit to a God, even though they themselves are gods. And so when Yeshua said the Father and I are one, can't be a child of God and not see yourself as a God. The Father and I are one. God and I are one. He's saying the Father and I are one. Okay, so he says he believes in God being a male. That's his prerogative. God and I are one. The kingdom of God is within. It's a code. Wake up. So that's why when I said Yeshua was the greatest Mason, I meant that shit. I'm not backing down on that, Seti. Now you just saw me break down the earthbound history of Masonry. I don't have. That's just the boring aspect of it to me. Like that's like 25% of it. And so I'm talking about the intergalactic mentalism, mind science. And it's not just working in angles and working in boring math, coming up with pyramids and structures and architecture. You got to build first in your mind. You become a master builder with your mind, through your mind. You got to think it first through your consciousness. Then you got to put it out. Then it got to reflect out in the 3D world, the physical world. You don't do it the other way around. That's why operative, when you what you were saying was, after operative masonry comes before speculative masonry. If you are going with his boring earth-based 3D based history, yeah, you would say that, you know. But the universe is mental. All is mental. You said the Egyptians knew this stuff. The Egyptians taught that. They believed that. Any pharaoh believed in that. If you're going to create your own IPU, you have to believe that first. You have to start at the universe is mental. So masonry is always going to be intergalactic mentalism. Always. It's always going to be, not this word speculative, but it's always going to definitely be spiritual. It's always going to be galactic. I don't use the word speculative. I don't know where that came from. I guess that come from one of the scholarly books, one of the academic books or whatever. Whatever. But it's definitely going to be spiritual. And it was in our realm, in our dimension, there is no oath. There is no secrets. You may not understand the information. It may be compartmentalized. You may have to raise your consciousness to get there. Just like you have to get older. You learn your biology in ninth grade. You got to wait till 10th grade to learn what was it? Was it physics? You know, you got to wait to learn, and then you got to learn what's the next one? The biology, physics, and you learn chemistry or whatever. You got to wait. Doesn't mean the information on physics and chemistry is widely freely available. But if you're going to go through the order of Kali, if you're going through the order of Tahuti or the Dragon Riders, we're teaching the angels. You're going to wait to get that information. Lucifer had a problem with that. He didn't get the promotion like you saw the other ones get. Ascension. He wants to be God. We're talking about somebody that's in our eyes. Now, you guys worship Lucifer. You guys love, you see him as a god or whatever. You see him. That's your business. I don't see that. I talk with. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. We're getting too deep. It's age 5 to 10. That doesn't mean that that entity is not extremely intelligent or extremely brilliant or gifted or whatever. But ages 5 to 10, that means they fuck up shit. What if a kid? You know a kid that right now that's ages 5 to 10. Do a kid age 5 to 10 know shit as a human? No. So an angel is the same way in our eyes. And so we're saying that no, we don't. No, we feel very much that what they did down here was very deviant and very deceptive. Um, we don't respect the mind control stuff that's going on down here. Um, we feel that he didn't give all of the teachings correctly because he didn't understand them himself, and he wanted an IPU where y'all motherfuckers were worshiping, where y'all motherfuckers and pretty much a 5 to 10 year old psychopath that kind of get off on come on, look at the state of the planet, look at the state of your planet, look at the state of your planet. We're getting better. We're going in the age of divine feminine. We're going in the age of Aquarius. It's going to get better. But look at your water. Look at you guys are what we working 9 to 5. Everybody got to work 9 to 5. Work, pay rent. We got to buy water. We got to buy fruit. And we got to buy vegetables. Y'all think that's normal? You really think that's normal? I guess maybe to you it is normal. That's slavery. So that means something is backwards down here. That means somebody taught y'all something fucked up. That's what that means. That the information is fucked up. You can't rebuild them pyramids. So what happened? What happened? Why you can't rebuild a pyramid? Why are your systems so backwards? Why is there no more hieroglyphics creation? Why are there no more math creations? Everything is outdated. The rest of the universe and the rest of the galaxy done moved on light years ahead. You guys are still stuck at the speed of light. There are other codes beyond speed of light. There are other you guys haven't even developed fusion power yet. So that tells me that planet Earth, something severely wrong happened down here. Now, does that mean that humanity is condemned? That humanity is wrong? Some of you are, some of you are not. Some of you are collateral damage. Some of you are innocent. Some of you just didn't know any better. Some of you were coerced into doing horrific things. Coerced. And some of you are psychopaths and evil as well and wicked. And so you have the ancient ones, you have the chosen ones, you have chaos intelligence beings, you have various beings from various constellations that look like human to you, or they shapeshift, whatever. They talk about the reptilians. Well, I don't know about that. I don't care about it. It's not that I know about it. I just don't care about it. um, uh, we're down here to give out information. We're not here to save anybody. And then we're awakening because a lot of times we were put in slumber. I was put in slumber. I had to awaken. Like I had to awaken. I knew things at 5 years old. I always knew I was a mystic since the age of 5. Always knew I was interdimensional since the age of 5. But a lot of us was put in monarch programs and mind control programs, all types of horrific stuff as well growing up. Black, white, whatever. Our government's monitoring us since we were 5 and 6. I was a ward of staff in foster care. And I was not in an abusive foster care home. Like I thought foster care was like Christmas. So you can't say, oh, you just traumatized. That's why you talk the way you talk. No, nope. Can't even use that one. I was never molested. I thought foster care was motherfucking Christmas. I'm telling you, social workers gave us big ass bags of Christmas. Come with all these Christmas stuff for us. Take us out to the movies and to the malls and stuff. I thought I was like, what kind of when I turned 18 is when I realized that other foster care kids had horrific experience. It was pretty much a sex trafficking, what they do. That's what foster care is for. I didn't know that because that never happened to me. And I always thought it was like, I thought it was the greatest thing. I was like, damn, I can't believe like that's real cool because we was treated really, really good. Like my foster care mother ended up adopting us and she was really good to us until she died. She had died as I was a kid. But like, she was cool. We had name brand stuff, the North Star coats, Timberlands, Adidas, and stuff. We had plenty of motherfucking food. Oh, you don't want to even get started on the food. We had plenty of motherfucking food. She got us. We eat Burger King a lot, but we used to go eat Steve Meats packages. Me and my sister, she used to hand us a big ass Steve Meat catalog. Circle which I want out of the Steve Meats package catalog, and I'm gonna go and get that shit. We used to circle 50 hot pockets, 50 chicken patties, 60 chicken nuggets, 5 pounds. When you go get a Steve, you guys know what Steve Meats package is. Well, maybe you guys don't, but you know the meat package where it's pretty much you go to a butcher shop and you order like this big ass package for like several $100s. And she literally gave us the catalog and say, circle what y'all want in there. We used to get 5 pounds of bacon, big ass camellia sausages, 10 pounds of camellia sausage. I remember circling that as a kid. I'm talking about 5, 6 years old. No lie. And I could read at the age. And I was like, why is we getting all this? She said, circle whatever you want. So we circle whatever we want. And she used to go after work, go pick up the Steve Meats package, big ass box. It was a box of all this stuff we get. And then we had to go to Tops and go get fruits and vegetables. Now, we didn't really get a lot of vegetables. I ain't going to hold you. So I didn't grow up eating healthy, but we used to get lots of plums, grapes, and oranges and stuff. And then with the Steve Meats package, believe it or not, 5, 6, 7, and 8. My sister was 3 years older than me. She did. We did have to cook our own stuff. Like she wasn't sitting there. We did have a nanny for a little bit, a ghetto ass nanny. It was my adopted brother's girlfriend. And when they had broke up, my adopted mother said you could stay with us if you for free. She's like, you can stay with us rent free if you cook them 3 meals a day and wash them up and watch them. We was hood. We was bougetto, ghetto fabulous. Okay. And so that was like our nanny. Like she did literally cook us 3 meals a day, and then get us washed up, and we could watch movies, and we had dessert every day. Big ass slice of pound cake and vanilla ice cream every single day after every meal, after dinner. Now when she left, because you just move on. Like I guess she didn't want to let her rent free anymore. She had other things to do. That's when we had to start cooking our own stuff from Steve Meats, because my adopted mom was a nurse practitioner, like one of them. I forgot they call it LPN or something. So I know you guys think like, oh, you telling all your business. There's a big ass classified dossier. I'm already like that stuff. Like that's nothing. I've been monitored since the age of 5. I told you I was a ward state. And so my foster mom, she ended up adopting us. She worked a lot to take care. She was like, I guess it's called LPN or nurse. One of them. But anyways, we had to cook our own Steve Meats package or stuff. So whether that had been throw up, whatever, chicken patties, chicken nuggets, whatever y'all have, whatever we circle. And kids gonna circle the easy stuff. They ain't gonna circle no roast beef or no prime rib or nothing, or no ribeye. We weren't circling that. We were circling stuff that looked like kids stuff: chicken nuggets, hot pockets, hot dogs, sausage, bacon. So that's what we did. And so I say this to say that, for those that like when me coming out with such esoteric knowledge, occult knowledge like this, and want to say, well, you was in the foster care system and you was abused, and you can't say that. Nope, because we was treated damn good. We come on our Christmas list. We used to make our Christmas list out. Not only did the social workers give us a bunch of fucking toys, good toys too, good ones. My foster mother took us to Toys R Us. Now we didn't believe in Santa. Yeah, we got everything on that Christmas list. I used to put Baby Born, Chair Flare, Barbie, Cabbage Patch Doll, the Gigapet. I know y'all remember Gigapets with Digimon and all that shit. I know I remember Gigapet. We put all that on the Christmas list. She said, y'all ready to go? Get in the van. She driving us to Toys R Us, and we got everything on that motherfucking list. No lie. So I did not have no abusive ass foster care experience. Like, can't say that. Yeah, it wasn't always perfect or whatever. Obviously, we would try, you still miss your biological parents, right? So you're going to cry. But I think she tried to overcompensate for that, because, she knew we was dealing with that. So she did try to overcompensate that, constantly giving us maple walnut ice cream, butter pecan ice cream. Every time I would cry, she'd tell me butter pecan ice cream. No lie. Like, so, and take us to Darien Lake all the time. And this was the government doing this because like I was in foster care, so they were sponsoring this stuff. Our social workers was giving us free ass tickets to Darien Lake every week. Now I won't say every week, but like every month during the summer, we went to Darien Lake. I remember a bunch of times in the summer, and one summer, every summer. And so I guess I don't know what that was about. Again, my bloodline has been tracked for thousands of years, and my biological parents have ties to. I don't want to get into all that. I don't want to get into their business. They're still alive, but I don't know what that's about. But it was just different. That's all I say. It was a different upbringing. And the genealogy has been tracked back to again um, this whole Melchizedek, uh, blood of Solomon, that whole energy, Saint Bernard. So perhaps that was why we was treated so good. I don't fucking know. I can't tell you why was our experience so drastically different. But I still went through the ringer because um, as I got older, after my adopted mom died, my foster mother who ended up adopting us, she ended up dying, and I did kind of feel like something there was a shift, you know. And so, anyways, that's just a little tangent and reflective, a little bit of a tangent from what we were talking about. Excuse me, but so I talk about that stuff here. Seti, damn, it's 5:17 already. Let me get my ass off. So I talk about like Atlantis and some of the original teachings of the supplement in the of the spiritual masonry. Of the, I call it intergalactic mentalism, but we're pretty much giving the context of where that stuff comes from. The true definition of the dark goddess in darkness. Primordial. So we're talking about primordial darkness in Judaism, primordial darkness mentioned in Kemet. Okay, see this primordial darkness mentioned in India, primordial darkness mentioned in Asia, battle against primordial chaos, divine feminine, primordial darkness in the scientific sense. This is where we talk about melanin, dark matter, gravitational forces, electromagnetism, blah, blah, blah. You guys know all that. And chaos intelligence, the realm of the primordial mother. This is where Yeshua comes from. This is where I come from. This is where all of your ascended masters get in touch with once we ascend and become enlightened. This is also where your pharaohs are descendants from. Most of your emperors, most of your royal bloodlines are related to this. And even if they are unaware of the primordial mother, and say what happens down on planet Earth, the royal bloodlines just solely think that they are descendants of like the fallen angels. So I guess they think they are descendants of Lucifer, and then the fallen angels created octave of homunculus deity. They literally claim bloodline to Satan, and so they don't have the knowledge of his information because Lucifer hid it from them. And by proxy, if you are a bloodline of Yeshua, so there's a schism. There's a schism here. And so if you're a bloodline of Yeshua by proxy, because if you're a descendant of the dragon riders by proxy, because Lucifer is a descendant of the dragon riders too, just as well as Yeshua, then you would be related to Lucifer. And so what the royal bloodlines do is they just listen to a 5 to 10-year-old. I know they're like, why didn't he go after you? Why didn't he go after you? So it's kind of comical, to be honest. I mean, to us, it's comical because it's like, why did you do that? It's not even we're mad at it. It's just like because now we're in this paradigm shift, and we're going into like the age of divine feminine, crone mother Saturn. Saturn is not Satan, by the way. Oh, please stop saying that. Saturn is not Satan. So we're going into like the actual primordial mother, the real big dog. Okay, his mother, his grandmother. Okay, we're going into Yeshua's grandmother, Lucifer's grandmother, who you guys call Creator God, Father God. You guys are down here calling him Father God and Godhead, Creator God, Allah, however, whoever. We don't care. Like that's not the point. It's a pole of creation. Okay, that transcends the universe, that transcends the galaxies, that transcends dimensions. Okay. So that energy is on this planet now. Lucky you guys. That energy is on this planet now. And so that doesn't take away from any of you guys' individual beliefs as far as what you want to believe. If you guys are really religious, nobody cares about that. Um, we're just simply saying that, uh, this for the first time, the planet Earth is getting this information for its evolution in a sense, so it can catch up with the rest of the damn universe, the rest of the galaxy. You know, um, and that means a war will break out. A war has already broken out. It's a full blown spiritual warfare for sure. Because the universe is mental. All is mental. So many we have many fallen comrades from my dimension. I know them. Some of them they got them locked up for trumped up charges, trumped up crimes. If you have taken an oath to their system, then they can do that legally through their law. And so that's why Brother Dr. York is in prison. That was revealed to me. That's some real shit for your ass. And it's nothing that, it's like, well, why did, because he took an oath to their system to guard their secrets, and he still ended up he ended up applying it for his people. Once you take an oath to that stuff, you can't go and try to build cities for your people and enlighten your people and all this stuff. That's why I don't believe in it. That's why I don't believe in taking oaths. I don't, because that's the only way you can get out of it. Now they trumped up them charges. And the thing is, it's like, it's either that or death. And it's either that or you have to honor your deal. That was the situation with Dr. York. That was revealed to me intergalactically. Because we know that them people came forward and said that they lied on that man. We saw that on my tell show. Did we not? We saw that on I remember as a kid watching that shit. Literally on my tell show with them saying, yeah, we made that shit up because the government came to us and told us to lie on Dr. York, and then we got paid for it. And then when they tried to come out and renege because they felt so guilty and bad, they told the government, said, well, your ass gonna go and do the time then. Since you lied, did you lie? No. Because they don't want to go, they don't want to take his place. But the reason why that happened, and he got on them years like that, and it's nothing that anybody can do about it, is because he took an oath to their system. And so he technically, him doing what he did for black people in Tempe, Georgia, Georgia, where he built them big ass beautiful pyramids out there and gave out all that intergalactic science and all that science that he was giving out, all that teachings he was giving out. He wasn't, by their system, that was illegal. It was illegal based on the deal that he took, what he signed on it outline, the oath that he took. And so it's either you're gonna die or you gotta pay up for what you did, because now you got all these souls out here that actually know about what star systems they came from now, and their origins and intergalactic mentalism because of you. And you told us that you would never teach them that. This is what they telling Dr. York. Dr. York said, okay, I do the time. That's why his ass is in prison. There's the thing. Same with Larry Hoover. And I can't say he took the oath. I don't know about all that. But I channeled Dr. York's situations as a spiritual intuitive, because I was like, what's going on with that? And Mother God revealed to me what happened with him. And also with Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover, I ain't gonna tell his business all like that. I don't feel comfortable telling his business. I don't. I feel like I something in my soul to say don't go there yet. Maybe eventually I will, but I'm not going to do that right now. But that's why, like, some of us, when we giving out the same information, like we coming down and we like, because Dr. York is from the Chaos Intelligence Room, right? And so now that you got other people in 2024, what they trying to do is either they trying to make us go crazy, they trying to kill us, or they trying to make us homeless and like his master teachers that are absolutely brilliant and genius that are literally homeless. No lie, right on YouTube, you could look it up yourself. Two of them. One of them, they just went motherfucking just crazy. They tried to do that to me. Master teachers, brilliant teachers, brilliant people. And one of them, they drugged them up, permanently messed up their brain. This is what they're doing to those of us from the Chaos Intelligence Room now, or those of us from different realms that want to teach, that come down here to raise the vibration, just not purposely, but just because of who they are. They naturally raise the vibration because their aura is so powerful. The energy is powerful. So all they got to do is just exist, or just write one book, or start a YouTube channel. It's all they have to do, and they raise the vibration on this fucking planet so high. And so that's what happened to people from the chaos intelligence room. And they try to do that with they still, I'm still dealing with the remnants of the stuff they trying to do to me. You know. Hold up. I just gotta check my I think I said what I wanted to say, but when I said what I said about Yeshua, Seti, I wasn't talking about from like probably the lens or perspective that you would think, or from the perspective of just want to make sure. Okay, so this only does 2 hours. I record on a different device at the same time as I do my live stream, and so it just shut off. So I'm just making sure that it recorded. So that's what I'm doing now. So it just shut off.
Hello, this is J.N.S, and I just want to do a real quick
I'm just playing
video
back the
on this topic on Freemasonry origins.
Okay, so I got it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it recorded because it just stopped, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay, but anyways, yeah. So we're going into the age of divine feminine. You guys are going to see more knowledge about, melanin and consciousness itself, vibration and frequency, equanimity. And so I've been writing about this stuff. Advaita Vedanta, non-duality versus duality, governing forces, octaves. This one's a real cool one. Octaves of Yeshua and Lucifer. I'm still writing this chapter. This actually is the last chapter that I'm done with the whole book. I just gotta get this one done. This was really cool. But yes, Seti, I'm not here to be pushing stuff on certain people, what they need to believe or what they need to. I don't care about that, and I'm not here to promote one religion over the other. What I believe is very personal to me. I follow. I'm so out there. I don't externalize my power. I don't. I do the Nakhti philosophy, and I study the ascended masters before me. I chew the meat, spit out the bone. Not everything I agree with. I know a lot of that stuff is botched, and a lot of that stuff is added in or taken out. I'm very much aware of that, but I understand that we have a responsibility to humans to explain ourselves and our teachings and the things that we say. And so, I'll, I felt like it was important for me to kind of respond to you because you was going off on me in that at the end. I don't know. You thought I was just some I guess some rambling Christian trying to push. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was about. I'm like, no, 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 not over here. I talk about the ancient order. Like, this is another book that I just part of this is redacted, so this is also freely available if you guys want to. Not you don't get all of my information for free. You do have to buy some of the book now. Now, channeling the Great Mother, this has come directly from God, so that part is redacted. But I do talk about the war between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Um, so it's just, this is redacted feminine images of God. I redacted that. I didn't know that. Pre-Adamic ancient orders, ancient order of Kali. Views on yeah. So ancient order of Kali gave rise to Atlantean Freemasonry, which birthed Earthbound Freemasonry. Okay, true story of the fallen angels and Lucifer. This is a true story. This stuff is not out there yet. Just now being out there. It's just now being released. Let me talk about the ancient cult of Tahuti. That one is Chief Architect of the Universe title. And so, what is these things? The Ethereal Soul Exchange. That's redacted as well. You see, a lot of this stuff is so deep. I'm a very deep thinker and deep writer. And so, this is stuff about the Nakhti philosophy. This is a whole book on the Nakhti philosophy, but this is just, I put summaries in there so that people, if they get intrigued, they can go eventually buy the book. The book is available for free because I care about humanity so much, even though humanity doesn't care about me. I care about humanity so much that I released that for free so they can get it for free. And the thanks that I get is for certain groups to conspire with the US government to kill me. Yeah, very annoying. And so this is the sum of my work. I have 18 books, and so I say that to say, Seti, out of even though I respect you, somebody I've learned from growing up. I took your teachings, some of your teachings. I didn't copy them. I didn't steal them or anything like that. All of my work is original, but just the inspiration that I'm talking about being 18 years old and hearing you say the black woman is God. Okay, you ran around saying that. You ran around Harlem talking about the black woman is God, and so me being an 18-year-old impressionable woman, I said, "Oh, let me go look into that. Oh, it's actually true. Okay, let me go channel God. Let me channel this primordial mother." And she gave me the scoop on how all that went down, the real story of Lucifer and Masonry, and gave me all of the knowledge of where Masonry comes from, and it's not earthbound. Gave me how the Atlanteans was created, how the Pleiadians were created. A lot of the information I don't even give out. Like I only gave out about 20% of it. To me, this stuff looks like baby food, even though like the government is like swarming all over my stuff to try to even understand it. It's still like, to me, in my mind, it's baby food. Um, but I try to. I'm breaking it down. I'm patient. I lived in my own world for 32 years. I'm 32 years old. I lived in my own world for 32 years, so I couldn't see the world for what it really was until this year. So I really thought that I lived in like this a world where it was just always this raw power, like raw high mental science, like always just like, I don't know, like my mind can understand very complex topics. And so when it was really revealed to me, like what's really going on around me, I'm just like shocked that like I just thought that how do I say this? I thought everybody was like me pretty much. I thought everybody was like me. And I'm just not realizing that that's not the case. And so I feel kind of stupid in a sense because the things I was saying and the way I was talking, I thought everybody knew that stuff as well. And so I just put a big target on my back. Now, obviously, this stuff, Shakti, that stuff, yeah, people know about. But a lot of stuff, like a lot of my body of work and stuff I was talking about, um, some of my theories, just my entire, body of work. I I just thought we was all, I don't know. I just didn't realize that I was different. That's what I'll say. I just didn't realize that. I didn't notice that until this year, 2023. Well, it's 2024 now, but I didn't realize that until 2023. And so I couldn't understand why people were coming after me, or why people were, I couldn't understand why I just had like this venom, this hatred towards me, even envy of my mind. And so now I understand that now, because I just for my whole life had rose colored glasses on about consciousness and the state of the world, what the world really was, and what planet Earth was. Um, Obviously, people could say that's MK Ultra, mind control, whatever. It was a little bit of that, but also, again, I'm protected by the Godhead, and so a lot of my information and a lot of the things that I know was funneled through that, like my whole conception of the world. Like, oh, we're all these interdimensional beings, souls in human bodies. We're a soul having this human experience, and you know we're growing and ascending, and through that ascension we're able to control our own realities, and we have to get there and develop our superpowers. Pretty much, this is literally how we're thinking the world. Grew up seeing the world like we are a part of the Godhead. We are co-creators in our own reality. we greater work shall you do than me if you put in the work, do the great work, do the alchemy, become the alchemist, transmute. This is literally like my whole life. This is what I was running around thinking. And come to find out, I'm looking around and everybody's looking at me like, how do you know that all stuff? You're a threat. And we want your body of work, we're thinking of how we're going to kill you. And so, I'm just looking like, uh, damn, I just want to help people. I'm thinking of love, and that was another thing with me. Love, 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 love. I never said love and light, but I always say love and enlightenment. We gotta transcendence. I think I've used the word transcendence in my first book, my second book, like probably over 50 times. We gotta transcend. We gotta transcend. Transcend our consciousness. Transcend. Run around thinking that everybody thinking the same thing as me. I just lived in my own world. I enjoy my own company. I create universes in my mind. Every mind is universe. So the universe is mental. So you sit there, you I don't know. I don't know how to explain that feeling, but as an Aquarius, I'm an Aquarius. It was just my birthday on January 22nd, by the way. But you know how Aquarius are, man. We kind of out there already. We're very eccentric thinkers, and so. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or what. I'm this, I'm that, and we different and whatever. I love humanity. Again, I was all. Come on, I've given so many labors of love to my community, Black community, to humanity itself. I've I've given very freely, of my mind, of my time, of my essence. I love to help people. I'm very giving naturally. Um, if you don't cross me, we good. If you show me real love, show me. I'm going to show you love back. Whatever you do to me, I'm gonna do to you. That's the thing. I'm a chaos intelligence being. Yeah, it's all love, 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 and yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you cross me, or if you fuck with me, and I never fuck with you, and I'm just an innocent, peaceful creature, just minding my business, doing what I gotta do, and I find out some random people just coming for me, no, I'm blasting your ass. It's about to be. I'm tearing the frame out your ass, and I won't think nothing. Two things about it, nothing about it, because I was loyal. I'm a good person. I give love freely, and you came for me for no reason. That's how I see it. Or even worse, you deceived me, and I thought you was my friend with a smile on my face. I dealt with that too. I dealt with that too. I dealt with that too this year. So all I'm saying is the world, how I see it, I'm like, whoa. And I had to adjust to it, and I'm still adjusting. Still adjusting. But Sara, Suten, Seti, I hope you understand a little bit more what I'm saying. That intergalactic mentalism of masonry becomes operative and um, on Earth, and as well as you have to do it through thought consciousness first before you build any stone. But I understand you were talking about from a speculative sense, and in terms of, I guess, from the 12th century on, or Egypt rather, or from not from Egypt, from what you were saying, from Egypt, didn't I? I'm talking about even before that. I'm talking about how did the information get to the Egyptians? How did the information get to Lucifer? How did the information get to the Atlanteans? That was my lens. How did Yeshua get the information? Why was he killed by the Masons? Why was he killed by his own people? Why was he killed? By Roman secret societies and Jewish secret societies. So that's what I was talking about. And he was murdered. He didn't die on a cross for humans. If y'all, I mean, I don't. Matter of fact, let me stop. I don't care what y'all believe. Y'all want to believe that, believe that. But you know, and a lot of times, like again, you be in a different galaxy and all this stuff. I already know. I know how it go. I know how he felt because he was talking about some. I gotta do this and da 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 da. And your crown chakra be open but ungrounded and unfiltered, and so I'm pretty sure he really, really, was saying some off the wall stuff. I mean, he's telling him his father died, and he told him, "Leave your father. Who cares about that? Come follow me." I mean, what kind of shit is that? So, you know, I know what it's like to awaken and to become an enlightened or ascended master, and then be ungrounded. just be giving out all the secrets, giving out all this information, or unfiltering it improperly, like giving it out where you're still trying to ground yourself. And I think like by the time they ended up crucifying him, he was still in the phase of grounding himself and channeling that energy from the collective consciousness in a more coherent manner. Not saying that he wasn't coherent. I'm just saying because he's very brilliant, obviously. But I'm saying like he was still in that phase. I know what that phase felt like. I had to get through that phase, not necessarily to sin, but I had to get through that to where you not out here just thinking you gotta. I don't even want to get into that, but very interesting, very interesting stuff. Nonetheless, very interesting. And so I hope you keep an open mind. Um, for those who watch the playback, or for Sara, Suten, Seti, yourself, you have to keep an open mind when dealing with me. Okay, as a teacher, you should be happy, Seti, that you influenced. Uh, and I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. Just confident. But you should be very happy that you influence. You didn't just influence me. You influenced some other people too. Other people. Some fell off the deep end, whatever. But you influenced one of the most brilliant minds of the 21st century. You should be happy about that. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I think I said what I gotta say because I want to do another video about damn, what's the other video that I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about a little bit about that P Diddy situation a little bit more. I think I want to cover it just a little bit more. Um, I think I do. I think I do. So I think I might take a break. Give me something to eat. Give me something to grub on, and then come back and do a video about the P Diddy situation because people are saying that we're dogpiling on P Diddy and that the Black community should have his back, and so it's a nuanced conversation, and I really want to talk about that. Like, should Black Americans have P Diddy's back? Should we go rush to his defense now that the system is ready to make him a sacrifice, and after all the things he's done? Like, should we be running to his defense after he screwed over all of his artists and all screwed over Black Americans? Like, I just want to know. So I want to carve that out, talk about that. They saying he buying NBC. They say that every time somebody get held accountable, all of a sudden they was trying to buy a network and all this stuff. So I don't know. I think I want to cover that a little bit, give my perspective because it's always two sides to every story. It's the truth, and I see it as more nuanced. I see it as nuance. Me personally, I think that chickens come home to roost. You know, and I'll come back. I'll talk about the things. I talk about that more when I come back. I'll see you later. Bye.